Hey YouTube land, this is Dantes, and today I'm going to talk about the remake for Final Fantasy VII. It's been almost 4 years since the rumors started with the technical demo that Square Enix showed off on 2006 E3, showing the power of the PS3, but with the intro of Final Fantasy VII. And I have to say, when I saw that technical demo, I was kind of excited. Maybe we're gonna get a remake for Final Fantasy VII, yeah! But after almost 4 years and small news tidbits like, yeah, it's gonna happen, no, it's not gonna happen, my excitement kind of dwindled down a bit. Uh, so, I was wondering how the remake would end up be, like, how the graphics would improve on the original game, if they were gonna improve the battle system, of course improving the translation. So, I want to show you this news from the Final Fantasy 13 director, who said he would really want to remake Final Fantasy 7. His name is this guy over here. I'm sorry, I won't pronounce his name. I have a hard time pronouncing it in English, so I won't try to pronounce a name in Japanese. He basically stated that he would be happy to do the remake for Final Fantasy 7, but it would be so a big, so large of a project that probably wouldn't happen anytime soon. So if you guys were expecting Final Fantasy VII Remake to happen anytime soon, don't hold your breath. Probably would take a good 4 to 5 years. He also stated that Final Fantasy 15 won't happen anytime soon also. They're working on the Versus and Agito 13 right now, so that's their main projects. So I just was wondering if you guys here in YouTube land still are excited about a remake for Final Fantasy VII or not. I'll say this, for me, I think Squaresoft is maybe going off with the remake of Final Fantasy VII. They want to do it in PS3 quality graphics, or how it's going when they get it on PS4. But I think remakes look good in other platforms. I'll give you an example. Lunar just was remake for the PSP, and the game looks great. Nice graphics, enhanced storytelling, improved voice acting in some characters. Galleon still is better with the original, but so I think maybe Squaresoft should think of, instead of remaking Final Fantasy VII for PS4 or PS3, they should remake it with PS2 graphics and have it for PSP. Yeah, I'll buy that. I don't mind getting a PS2 graphics game for Final Fantasy VII. I always thought the Final Fantasy X looked awesome the time I saw it for the first time I played it. So at the end, do you think it's value added to do a remake for Final Fantasy VII? Maybe if they do it for the PSP, they can crank it up faster. I think things that need to improve on that game, they're just hard to say, but I think maybe we get a faster battle system, better translation, voice actors, more emotion in some scenes. Spoilers ahead, just in case, the death of Ares would be more awesome with better graphics instead of having those Lego kind of characters doing the emotion part of the game. Still, at the time, was a great game. I think Final Fantasy VII for me holds close to my heart because it was one of the first games I bought for the PS1. That's the game that made me buy a PS1. That time I was more into the Sega Saturn camp instead of Sony. I was more like Sega. I trust Sega. Sega has done a great job in the Genesis, and they'll do it again with the Saturn. I was mistaken. But a Saturn. Then I have to sold it off because we weren't getting any games. So I got the PS1, and then my first game that I bought for that system was Final Fantasy VII. So, hey, what do you think, guys? Let me know here in YouTube. Comments, any video response. Do you think it's worth doing a Final Fantasy VII remake, or do you prefer any other Final Fantasy to be remake? I would kind of like to see Final Fantasy VI remake, and I think that game would be awesome in being remade. Final Fantasy VII was already at that time cutting edge 3D, but Final Fantasy VI being sprites, being from the Super NES, maybe that game deserves a remake instead of Final Fantasy VII. But let me know what you guys think. Pop on some comments. So take care, YouTube. See ya. Keep playing games. Bye.